the other best. It's not slower with your voice. I will do my best. It's a little challenging. All right, so I would entertain a motion for approval of the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
I seconded stipulating the bills are reviewed with 3 signatures. So it is been motion by Kathy and seconded by Jamie. So that we added the secretary's 3 signatures on bills. Any discussions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And motion carries. So we'll go ahead and move on to the department reports. If we get anything from.
Yes. So Chief Valentine is out today. He did say he would come out next weekend if needed to answer any questions. As far as our Toledo monthly calls, we had a total of 33 call outs in the month of October. Our case summary is we had some traffic offenses, a DUI, a warrant arrest, and the rest are just traffic offenses. And he also brought up that he wanted to get an update on the Toledo school zone flashing lights for the speed zones. They haven't been working at the elementary or middle school. He talked to the dean of students who said he would bring it up at their upcoming meeting, but he hasn't heard anything back. He said he also spoke to Sherry about it, but wasn't sure if we had done anything on our end. So he just requested that we look into that because speeding's been an issue at the elementary school. And with the posted signs not working properly, they're limited to their enforcement capabilities. So I'll probably jump in and look at that later this week. Other than that, they said everything seems to be going well. I can talk to Brandon. We'll have our new contract here probably by the end of the week, so we'll get that on the agenda.
So do we own those signs or is there somebody else we need to talk to about?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to look into it. I don't know the answers to who I call or where I even go, so
I'm
gonna have to-
reach out to Brandon. And
Okay.
start talks with him as well.
perfect.
I know where Chief Valentine's in Winlock, they don't do the flashing lights, they just have a strict plan that's posted. From this time to this time on these days, this is speed limit is flat across the board, so that may be something to look into as well.
Yeah,
Any other questions for Edie? All right, we will move on to City Hall.
so City Hall, we've been pretty busy. The exit interview for our recent audit is scheduled hopefully for this week. I haven't got an exact date, but I know they're finishing everything up, and they should be with me any day now. I need all council members to complete the related party disclosure. And that is one thing that the auditors were looking at, that we didn't have. It was in our policy, but we didn't have a way to really check it. This requirement, basically the form that came out, it aligns with our personnel policy, which prohibits related party transactions. Table chairs and tables have been ordered and assembled. We do have a podium coming next week. Council Chromebooks have been ordered with the remaining ARPA funds. Our budget progress has been pretty well. I think we should be able to wrap it up here in the next week or two. And the iWork system that we're working on for permits continues to integrate well into city operations. And we've moved into learning about the actual permits. We've been working closely with Robert from Winlock. He's really enjoying the program, and I think they plan on getting it on their agenda, so they're going to switch over to that platform as well. Again, the PD contract should be here within the next week. I have an ILA renewal for permitting that should be out in the next week or two. We're proposing a 3-year contract, 3-year term contract on all of these. Court security requirements. Oh, so we do have a new fee coming out for our court contract. They need security over there, so that's going to bump us up about $4,000 a year. Carrie has been gone for the last week, so Carly's been finishing up a training manual, which we'll be able to hand off to any new person that's coming in and working at City Hall. So she's been spending a lot of time working on that, and that's pretty much it. I got the PD cards still being worked on, and those should be up to date here in the next probably 2 weeks.
Okay, have you been able to track down the baseball field contract yet?
I have not, no. We've got it on our list of stuff.
Okay, and the, fire extinguisher review?
That's, we haven't had it yet this year. They usually contact us, so I don't know when they're gonna come out. I know they came out last year. They just let us know and came out and took care of our fire extinguishers.
What we did discuss this morning, that should be coming us this month.
Yeah, I thought it was an every other year thing though. Did you look at the tags every year?
Yeah, June every year. Well, I know we brought up last meeting. That was to make sure that the, next thing was that you have to go locations that was,
And those got back to their locations, yeah.
okay. Anything else for City Hall? All right, we'll move over to Public Works.
There's where I can stand. Good evening, everyone. For those who don't know me, my name is Jake Crowe. I've been acting Public Works Assistant since March of this year, alongside John Cravens. From here on out, I'll be attending city council meetings to answer any questions and represent the Public Works Department. As far as business in the department for the past couple of weeks, our daily operations were, for the most part, performed without any issue. With the windstorm, we did have some power issues that were taken care of quickly after the windstorm that we had. We spent the better part of a couple of days reading water meters for billing and rereading and troubleshooting some of the software with the utility billing clerk. We performed sour testing on digester 1 at the wastewater treatment plant and prepared the screw press for another round of dewatering. We spent some time on that, just doing some annual, biannual maintenance on the screw press, taking it apart, cleaning it out, greasing the motors, stuff like that. Other than that, we continued working on the preliminary budget a little bit, kind of discussing what we need for the department this next year and changes that will be made, as well as working on acquiring equipment with this year's budget money for approaching the end of the year. We topped off all the city-owned generators in preparation for winter. And we're also in the process of scheduling them for maintenance. We emptied, hosed down, and cleaned out the clarifier, cloth filtration system, and UV disinfection system at the wastewater treatment plant. And we're kind of just checking and monitoring the city storm system for the rainy weather. But other than that, that's all I got for this go around.
Any questions?
Yeah, I do. I'm looking at an ALS bill, which is who does our water testing, and it looks like it's got now 2 tests on it. And the new test is twice as much as the old one was. Do we know if this is a one-off or? Yeah, absolutely. We usually see that pretty regularly. That's the water.
So that is triethylmethane for methanes and heliacidic acids. Those would be water testing.
Yes.
One-offs, yes.
But they do happen. One of them happens regularly. So
I
Basically,
could get back to you on
Okay.
how often that is, but it's not monthly. It would be either biannually, annually, or either.
That 95 is the one that's monthly, right? The $95 one?
Yes.
there's no longer, okay, so that's neither of these?
Yeah, the $95 one is the monthly one,
Because this will blow the budget for that line item. If
so it
it's,
needs to go to another line.
Well, it's not-
or it needs to be evaluated. It's gonna happen a couple times a year, because this alone is
I don't believe it's.
$425. Okay.
And we've kind of assessed what we need for water testing. So our normal ALS testing is for effluent, so it has a completely different line item than wastewater. And then we've kind of assessed what we need for water in the upcoming year.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so we will move into the committee report, or sorry, we'll jump into council reports. I have nothing to report today. We'll go ahead and go around. Connie, do you have anything?
I do not.
Either one.
Jamie?
Well, you gave us a homework assignment to think about what we want to do about this building.
But it's, that's funny, there too, but that was something that I've been on as well.
Should try. That's not the same thing.
This building,
This building,
because this is the discussion regarding the other building.
I know,
Oh, okay.
we're talking about
This
this.
one, okay, yes.
So, I think we should all take another homework assignment home,
Okay.
considering municipal bonds, the condominium building. They, can be set up for 30 years. And, they have an advantage in that they're, tax free. And, I've just done a kind of a cursory thing on it, so I think it would be helpful if we all look into it, do some research on it and, possibly get a financial expert in here to talk to us about it.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Nothing.
Okay. All right, so then we will move on into board, it does not look like we have anyone from planning commission here tonight. Report.
I'm here. We don't have much to report, but we do have a vacancy on the park board. So please, if anybody's interested, please reach out to City Hall, okay?
Thank you, Mary.
It's posted on the website.
It is.
And on the right. All right, so we will move into the public hearing on the preliminary budget. So let's go ahead and start our, open the public hearing at 6:12. Does anybody have any questions in regards to the budget? Does anybody have a chance to take a look at it? A couple of minutes, after 3 minutes. So we'll go ahead and close the public hearing at 6:15. So no special presentation this evening. Do we have any public comment on our agenda items?
I would just want to
Switch
say
this
that
back.
we're able for 50 and you guys are comfortable and thank you for the vote on it.
I put them all together, just saying, I did it all by myself, I put them all together, not even close.
Is everybody actually liking the chair? Much
She needs to look at
better
this.
than what we've had.
I mean, I preferred sitting over there.
You can take your chair over there. We'll get you the purple one back.
All right, so we'll go ahead and move into new business. So that will start with resolution number 299A, which is a resolution of the city of Toledo, Washington, establishing a policy for special event permits to be processed through the city clerk, except under specific circumstances requiring city council review.
I'll make a motion that we accept resolution 299A.
I will second that with the stipulation that city council receives informational copies of the permits.
I can do that, yeah.
All right, so it has been moved by Rebecca and seconded by Jamie, to note that we need to make sure that the city council gets informational copies. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Let's move on to resolution 300A. A resolution to establish water service protections for low-income senior residents.
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution 300A.
I'll second that.
It has been moved by Rebecca and seconded by Kathy. Any discussion?
Yes.
Yes.
The deferred payment plan, overdue balances, blah, blah, blah. The wording bothers me.
Pardon.
It's over a maximum period of 6 months added to the resident's regular monthly bill. I'm guessing what this means is you have a current payment due. And then you add that monthly payment onto that. Well, because the current bill would actually include all the arrearage too. So I'm wondering if we can,
What do you mean? So it's like if they're only able to pay a portion of their bill, they come in, it's just another way for them to do a payment plan. So if they owe like $120, that they just can't pay that would be broken up. We'd have a form for them to fill out. We would divide it by 6, and we would just make sure that they're paying that portion with each bill for the next 6 months.
I get that.
Okay.
but You're not gonna wipe their bill clean.
No, the bill, we don't wipe anything clean.
That's just gonna exacerbate the problem. Right, if they're not able to make their bill and you now tack it on to their.
Plus a little more.
Yeah, so it,
So the problem is that we've got residents that are. And this, I mean, it's a current problem that we have. They're older residents and they're facing their water getting shut off, and we can't do anything for them because our policy doesn't allow anything. And so now we've got someone who's, let's say their husband just died and they're not used to doing all this and they haven't received any money yet. I'm supposed to turn their water off.
okay. I
It's
see what you're
like,
saying.
yeah, and it's,
the wording that's the problem.
okay, so
How would you suggest?
Well, Eric
it
and
be worded?
Eric's saying it's something, yeah,
Go ahead.
okay.
I say that with this one too, they would have their regular bill would be lower than what they're currently paying, so it would. It's not gonna be a further hardship, I think, because their bill's going to go down and it's gonna break down what's owed into. Over 6 littler chunks, I think it'll be easier for them to catch up and then stay caught up going forward.
Rather than get their water shut off and then them have all these fees on top of it, because you've got the, $15 late fee.
Absolutely.
And it's only for, with certain people, I'm sure you read that, but there's also a forgiveness program. We have to apply for grants for that. It's something I plan to look into. And we would have a forgiveness fund that would allow hopefully where we could say, okay, well, we're gonna submit you to this grant program and we can just wipe the rest of it clean, but that's not something that's been set up yet. So it's kind of worded in there, if funds are available. It's just hard for us in the office to shut people's water off when there's a real reason why they can't pay. So I'll word it however you want me to word it. This is typical of how,
Did you get this verbiage from some other
and
entity?
not the verbiage, but these payment plans came from the MRSC. So it's the payment plans used, for city municipalities, so.
So they could apply for the reduced payment program and then.
Only if
have the
we've got
deferred
funds.
Payment.
Only if we have got funds. So right now we don't have funds. I just didn't want to have to come back and
Mm-hmm.
redo this later.
But they can apply for the reduced payment program, but the forgiveness is the part that you. would
Yeah, the
have to-
forgiveness is the part
Right.
that, yeah, so the
Yeah,
reduced,
but
yes.
they could apply for the reduced payment program and then have the balance, the past due balance
Correct.
taxed on to that.
Okay,
It's not one or the other of these options.
Correct.
Necessarily.
Right. It's one of the two, yeah.
The regular monthly bill is wording I'm getting stuck on, because the regular monthly bill is what they're owing.
Mhm.
They owe completely. So if you break out their past due into 12 months and tack it onto their regular monthly bill, you now increase their bill. That's the problem. So
I see.
instead of regular monthly bill,
What about like
how about current required payment?
Where are you seeing that at?
or residents' new monthly bill?
Deferred.
The first row was,
Deferred payment plan.
Right there. Would be added to the residents' new monthly billing total.
No,
How did
I
you put
think
it?
we might
Jane?
be able to add
current
something like,
required payment.
some language about like new charges still must be paid on time, because I think what I'm hearing is that the system will just carry that past due balance no matter what arrangement they've made with the office, right?
Yeah, it would break up, so say they.
But it's gonna be added to the residents' regular bill that they receive. So that extra payment is getting added to
How did
the
you just say
regular
it?
bill.
The current required.
Current required bill. That's.
But it's not the current
Required
required
payments.
bill. It's gonna be it's gonna be added to their regular bill that's coming out.
But when you get a bill,
Okay,
it says the amount due,
right.
and it might be the current amount, or it might be the current amount and any past due amount.
Correct.
So the amount due is the problem. If you add on a now 12-month breakup of that past due, you still are increasing the bill.
So you say added to the resident's current monthly bill.
That's what it says
Current
now.
amount.
It's his regular monthly bill.
This
Right, yeah, it's.
current.
Well, how did you word it?
Just
Current
current.
required payment. So when you get a bill,
I got it.
it says,
And if you needed to describe that, to like illustrate it, you could say something like current month's usage plus payment plan will be due each month, because I think, I hear what you're saying, I'm like trying to understand, like, just because you're on a payment plan for something that's past due, doesn't mean everything else that's now new gets to also stay past due. So like you pay current charges plus your agreed upon payment, and that's how you stay current without turning your water off.
Yeah.
which brings up another thing, they, in order to stay on this, they have to stay current, right?
Correct.
Yep.
And that's in,
It's
yeah,
in there.
it's in there.
So I'd like to amend my approval of 300A on the. Correction to item 3 under deferred payment plans, that it will say current bi-monthly charges instead of regular monthly bill. You do that right?
Current required payment.
The current required
honestly, that
payment's gonna
sounds
be the
more, that
regular
sounds more vague
plus
than the way it reads
past
now.
due.
The current required payment is your regular bill plus your portion of your arrearage, so.
It's gonna be
I-
the,
It
That's
says
current.
added to the resident's current monthly due. The deferred cut into 6 months is added to. The customer's current
Yeah, current.
current
amount
month.
due.
the current
Current
reoccurring
month's charges.
charges.
There you go, right there,
Current month's charge.
but we bill bi-monthly, so
Current recurring charges, yeah.
Current.
current cycles, yes,
Cycle.
current bi-months bill or
Cycles.
current cycles bill.
Current referring to.
Just tell me what it's supposed to say. That's gonna make sense.
I think it should say that just the current cycle. Cycle.
It's one of those things where most of us understand what we mean, is
Yeah, making
how,
it
how
make
it could
sense.
get interpreted, yeah.
Does somebody want to look into Rebecca's amended motion?
Oh, I'll second that, whatever it was.
She's got it written down.
Perfect. Any further discussion? All those
Thank you for getting this done.
Yes,
Yeah, and I still haven't, there's still that low usage that's rolling out. I'm just trying to get these done because I'm waiting to hear back from Buzzard just to
This
make
is prep.
sure.
Prep
This
for
is
those.
prep, and it's because we've had a couple issues where our box are up against a wall and we're like, what? You know,
All right, all those in favor?
I,
Opposed? All right, motion carries. We will move on to the next. Resolution number 301A, the resolution of the city of Toledo, Washington, adopting an updated 2024 cost allocation policy to guide the equitable distribution of costs across city departments and services, and superseding resolution number 284A.
I'll make a motion we accept 301A.
I'll second it.
Been moved by Eric and seconded by Jamie. Is there any discussion?
it's basically just to get things to look right on paper, right?
Yeah.
It sounds like we're getting them in the right.
yeah, there was just a couple of things
Places.
that we allocated funds to that they weren't using them, so it was. We discovered it later, so yeah, just.
We have to do a
just correcting
resolution
it.
to correct it.
We do.
Okay.
All right, all those in favor?
I,
Opposed? Motion carries. We will move on to the next, which is the ILA for the jail facilities. This is an amendment.
It's just for next year. It's for 2025. They're just upping the jail bed cost.
so it is for the interlocal agreement. Oh, nobody's made a motion yet, huh? I'll make a motion that we accept the amendment to interlocal agreement. Amendment number 3 for the jail facilities.
Moved by Rebecca and seconded by Jamie. For discussion.
Does this include the turn down?
Pretty much.
So,
Up 10%.
It doesn't include medication or doctors.
it's an amendment to the agreement that was executed on December 2021 that we're just updating for the coming year and the dollar amounts, right?
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
I,
Opposed? Motion carries.
Like we have it.
I know, right, it's up 10%. I thought we were gonna talk about budget tonight. Can we add?
Yeah, we can. I
add
thought we were
something that
gonna
to
do it
the
after
other
that.
business? Cause I saw some things in the.
Yeah.
No unfinished business, so we're gonna jump into the other business. Go ahead, we'll take our first thing will be the Head Start discussion. I know there's been some talk back and forth. I talked with Head Start as well. We did ask them for a breakdown of all the information. I think all of you had a chance to look at that, correct? Perfect, just want to make sure you have that. And again, I know their information all shows how long we've been in there and whatnot. And I know when I talked with them, it gave me some wonderful ideas on other things to look into. So those are some things that we're in the midst of as well. I do believe we have a meeting next week to meet with a potential developer for some discussions as well.
And we are looking at a loan.
Yeah, and we are looking at both loans and grants, so, but that's kind of where we're at. And for anybody who doesn't know, the current building we sit in, the assessment that we got back shows upwards of $4.5 million to bring this building up to where it needs to be. These are obviously funds the city does not have. So, and I can't in good conscience continue to ask the citizens to come in to pay their bills or be in this building, or my staff to work in an area that if there's an earthquake, it comes crashing down. I just can't risk lives. I can't risk people's health. So that's kind of what put us into this spot that we're in now, that we're trying to find a way as creative as we can get to make this work. And I know we have Head Start here that they want to chat as well, so I'll go and let them have the floor.
Not sure if you would, since you don't have a podium.
No, you can just come over here and.
It's coming.
Stand up here, we just have.
Next to that box.
Pretend it's there.
Here.
Can we just put the box out there?
Yeah, just just pull that over, Dallas.
We're a creative bunch. We can make anything work. Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Erin Hillier. I'm the Executive Director for Reliable Enterprises now. And I have with me our Early Learning Programs Director, Dallas Smith, who's also the Director of Head Start. And we heard that you guys were looking at the space that we've enjoyed being a steward of and teaching kids out of for the last 35 years here in Toledo. I just wanted to be available to answer any questions you might have. I wanted to let Dallas give you a little bit more detail about our legacy and the time that we've had here and the kids that have come through, but also wanted to mention to you that there was a question of public gifting that came up. So I want to reassure you that our program is actually able to pay fair market rents for that space as well, if that is a consideration that you're thinking of, especially when you're considering your budget. So go ahead, Dallas.
Does anybody have any questions first before I just start rambling? Because I could talk about Head Start for a long time.
How about you ramble and then we may have questions. It's ramble.
So as Erin said, we've been here for 35 years. And in that time, I estimated a soft estimate of 600 children that have gone through the Head Start program and gone into the Toledo School District. So when you think of a town this size, that's quite a few children. At one time, we did also have a PM class when we did 2 classrooms. Those children were Winlock, Toledo, and some Napa Vine. So pretty much now we're Toledo. Like I said, 600 children over the last 35 years. We serve children who cannot, they have to qualify at 100% of the poverty guideline. There's nowhere else in town unless they're getting a state subsidy that where parents could afford to send their children to preschool. Children can attend for 2 years start at 3 years old and until they age out at 5, and then they go into the school system in kindergarten. So we provide 2/3 of their nutritional needs for the day. We now have a full-time what we consider a full day classroom. And so they go from 8:30 to 3:30. So it's like a school day. And getting them just as ready for school as they can possibly get academically, social and emotionally, approaches to learning physically. So I mean, there's lots to it. We work with families, we set goals, we help families identify their strengths so that they can set goals to either go back to college, get their GED. I was a teacher here for many years. I have lots of personal examples. I know you've had probably at least 4 standout athletes that started over there. I used to go through and check because I'm kind of want to be proud of myself. I would go through the honor roll and I would be like, yep, I had that one. Yep, I had that one. Teacher so-and-so had that one. So we do, like, for lack of a better way of saying things, we do produce a good student and we do produce children that are ready to learn and be involved in the community. And as I was speaking to the mayor, my goal as the director is that children would attend Head Start so that they could become better community people, right? So that they grow up, they go to college, they come back, they either teach, they serve, they live here, maybe they work in Chehalis, but they're paying taxes here. My whole goal is that people would move through the system, so to say, and be successful together.
One more little bit I want to add that is really special about this program down in Toledo is that it is one of our most rural sites right now. We used to have sites in Randall and in Salcombe as well as Toledo and Chehalis and Centralia. And you know, part of our mission is to be able to reach areas of our county that need the services, but don't always have them, and to maintain that is really important to us. So Toledo is our last area that we serve kids for free preschool outside of Chehalis and Centralia.
And I do community assessment, and it still proves true that Toledo is a place where the service is needed. It's free. It's free to parents. So, as I said, you know, there are other opportunities to pay daycare. And in order to do that, you couldn't be a stay-at-home mom, if that's what you were choosing, because you would have to have a job and be working, which that's fine. There's some parents like to stay home, they have a baby, take the kids to preschool. So
We do love the Scout Lodge. It has been just such a charming, wonderful place to be and comfortable place for staff. And it's been, so over the years, we've taken good care of it, with maintaining it and being stewards of that historic building and paying the utilities on it. And again, we are more than happy to look at fair market.
historically, that was an overflow school. Way back in the day when there were logging. And when I was in Alaska, we called them tramps, you know, right? Like, so the families would come in and all of a sudden they would have all these children and wouldn't know what to do with the children. Instead of building a bigger school, because of course then they would follow on to the next logging camp and the next logging camp, they would open up the overflow school. So that's actually where the Scout Lodge began, and then it became the Scout Lodge. So it's kind of cool that it started as a one-room school, and you know, that's what we're doing now.
How many kids currently do you have a day in there?
20.
20?
Mhm.
And do you see any imaginative options for somewhere else to hold that locally?
The issue is that we too are like everybody else, right? And we would have to rent a place. That would be one thing. And we would have to get it licensed by the state of Washington.
Mm.
So there's all kinds of things that you need to do to get something licensed. So I think we would run into a situation, right? Of landlord not wanting walls to be knocked down or kitchens to be torn apart.
So you're already licensed here
Yes.
at this building then?
Yes. Right, we did the work to get it licensed. And I do believe we have been good stewards. We don't ask for anything, you know, we pay whatever needs to be paid over there. We pick up the bill. There was a crazy thing with the utilities.
Yeah.
But that got taken care of and we paid back, and that was one of those COVID weird things. So, you know, as Aaron said, we're not afraid of paying rent to help towards something that you're doing. It would be nice if, I love Toledo. I lived in Toledo. My son grew up in Toledo. My son went to school in Toledo, kindergarten all the way through. And he's serving in the Air Force, and I feel like a lot of this, you know, it's going on 20 years. And I feel like a lot of why he's successful today is because of this town. The reason I was successful as a single mom was because of this town, right? And I just feel it's another opportunity to pass that legacy on to other families.
Anybody have any other questions for?
What's the background of Head Start?
In 1960 something, Robert Kennedy, was tasked with, he was tasked with the war on poverty. Do you remember hearing anything about that? And so what they did is they started, and it was, I want to say it was in mid-America, and they started this thing called Head Start. And what they said, what they noticed were children who were living in poverty were going into the school system ill-prepared. They didn't have the skills, so they were always lagging behind. Once you get behind, you're behind. You know, school moves fast now. So the war on poverty, they did this Head Start, and the pilot was so good. It was a 6-week pilot. And the pilot was so good that Lyndon B. Johnson said, let's do it. And so they rolled it out. It's a federally funded program. It's all across the nation. And so that is basically how it started. So it just started with this pilot program of a certain amount of kids, and then they did a little bit of data, and it was very successful. Another part of that was that there were opportunities for parents to work in the program. So it was another up and out. And I can tell you, I think probably just guessing 85% of the staff working in Head Start today were Head Start workers.
So our particular program was funded in 1984. So this program in itself, I have to brag a little bit. Our program that Dallas runs was just featured also in San Francisco, California as a model program for certain aspects and processes. And she is also going to be a guest speaker for building resilient staff as well. So pretty proud. So
Well,
there you go.
didn't they also determine that getting the nutrition helped in their education?
Right, exactly, because Head Start performance standards, we have this like big, huge guide. And if you do a part day classroom, we have to provide 1/3 of the nutrition. If you're in a full day, like over there, children get 2/3 of their nutritional needs met for the day. So that's a very small window when they get home, right? That needs to be met. All of our food over there is home cooked. It's cooked from scratch, our menu throughout the program. So they're not getting chicken nuggets out of the bag. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Like the pepperoni and cheese, but that's not how we do things, right? Everything is a scratch menu. So children are fed well.
Matt Wheeler, so being a federally funded program, what support does the federal government offer you in your facilities? In procuring and maintaining and paying for facilities?
We wouldn't buy a facility so that we couldn't purchase one. Well, we probably could, but it would be, I'm not gonna commit to that, Amber. Take that off the date. Take that off. So there isn't really any facility money. We're like anybody else, right? We're federally funded. Things are coming up, people are voting. And we're kind of in a limbo right now too. Once in a while, money does come for facilities, but it's usually a one-time pot of money. And it would most likely be like if we had to renovate the kitchen, right? Or we needed it painted or something like that. So that's mostly what we see in facility money. Not to say that next year, something like that wouldn't roll out. But it is the federal government and it's what's in the budget. And Head Start right now, we're not, we're not the most important thing that's going on in Washington, D.C. Yeah.
Kyle Wheeler, I think that Matt built off of my question there, which was, you guys had mentioned that you are willing to pay fair market value. What are you currently paying, and do you know what the fair market value is?
We don't pay, and we are offering to pay.
Okay.
I think, and this is another one of those things that just over the years, it's just been what it's been, right? But we do understand that needs change, things happen. You know, when I first lived here, it was a booming logging community, and there would have never, would have been fine, kids, take the building.
So we pay for utilities and the maintenance and upkeep of the building or any renovations
Yeah,
that need to be done. And often you see small towns and throughout history, if they see a reciprocal value back to the community, they'll be able to gift a part of that or that value in way of waiving some rent and things like that. This probably goes back many, many years, but now that it's come up, definitely, it's allowed us to look at our history and look at what we're able to do. And just wanted to make sure that was covered as well, if that's still a question.
So, and I know, this was something that we looked into when we renewed the contract back in 23. And it's because they're, helping isn't the word, but it's they're assisting the community. And so it's that great, I'm already seeing your wheels turn. So it's like,
Very similar.
it's the gray, yeah, it's the gray area there. And so even speaking to the rent, which is a whole nother conversation, there's a large process that would have to happen there, even to be able to charge you guys rent. I'm sure I don't have that. I reached out to the MRSC. I think I know what the process is, but it's basically has to be a public hearing. It has to be offered to everybody, and I'm sure you can probably confirm I'm on the right track. Yeah. So there's definitely it's a lot that we've got to look at.
It involves appraisals and setting fair market rent and then making sure the public knows.
It's one of those tough
Yep.
situations, just because it has been done that way, doesn't mean it should be done that way.
Correct. And that's why we did look into in 23, and I did reach out to them, and they were, they said, well, if you guys are able to do that, if they're helping Toledo resident kids. And so we did get
put the demographics for that in your packet today. There's
I did.
something from, it's like how many of them are Toledo kids
Correct.
specifically.
yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Did you get the agenda copy? Yeah.
So two were city limits, and then there were a bunch more that are on the outskirts.
So you said earlier about 20 kids a day, so about half of your kids are Toledo kids.
I think.
Well, they'd be Lewis County kids. So there's only 2 of them that are actually Toledo kids.
Like in town.
In town residents where it's benefiting the city where we're
Right,
able
there's
to.
There's 2 in city limits. 9 in the school district, so there's 11, and then there's 2 more that actually are in Vader, but they can choice with Toledo, yeah. So what is that?
13.
13.
But we aren't the school.
Yeah, we aren't the
so-
school district, so.
Well, thank you guys so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
Thank
but
you.
We'll definitely be in touch after we have some more meetings and do some more research.
Yeah, please, just if you have any questions afterwards.
Absolutely.
Thank you for
Good
your
luck.
time. Don't hesitate to reach out.
Yes, thank you guys.
Thanks for coming out, Dallas.
Good luck.
Thank you.
And so we'll move on to the next other business, just kind of a quick one that was just kind of brought up today. I know the Lions Club is looking to gather all the Cheese Day stuff together. They wanted to put it in a 40-foot storage container. They were approached today to see if they're able to do that. And the Lions Club is willing to pay for the storage container. If the city's willing to find a spot on city land to put it. So that's kind of something that we'll need to think about. I think you guys said that the meeting would be when you'd be able to talk to them is when's our next meeting?
In 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks, okay,
Yeah.
It's on the 11th.
okay. So if you guys can follow up with me after that and let me know what they say. But that way it kind of puts the bug in everybody's ear about that. They were thinking maybe out back here, kind of next to where Brigham Tania's portable is. So. The Lions Club does a lot for the city as far as funds given to us. So, getting the funds when they're giving us funds as well.
We did never get the final report from Gray and Osborne on this,
We did,
right? Was that given out?
Yeah, it was
I
in
know
your
I got
agenda
it.
packets.
Good.
Weeks ago. I can pull one for you though tonight.
Oh,
if
if
you
it was
want.
in the packet, I can find it.
yeah, we did get the final over.
I wasn't sure that that was the final. Because I only read the preliminary, so I assume it sounds like some things changed.
I don't think a whole lot changed, but I know some did.
I don't think that they condemned the building.
No,
Okay.
if that was the case, we would be.
Yeah.
Scrambled.
Just short of.
Just make it very different.
Time that we had our workshop, I did update some wages, for, at Sherry's request. I think we went over expenses pretty well, so we're pretty much balanced. The 401's kind of right there. We've got only, I think, $1,000 space there, but the only update, the expense part of it is update those wages.
And then, have you had a chance yet to look at the bills that have come over from Grand Osborne to see if we can pull out what needs to be passed through?
None of that's passed through. It's all on us. Yeah, it's the booster station and then the water stuff, and
Wait, the booster station,
we're out of, so the booster station is Red Rock, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so those went to Red Rock, but the other stuff is the water testing for the expansion, and we had a grant for that, but we ran out of the grant. So what's left over there is, it's on the city. And those are the ones that I sent you over 2 weeks ago, and then Sherry, John, and I sat down and went through them too.
do they have any idea when they're gonna stop billing us more money every month?
They're done for that grant that we have, they're done.
I thought we were done like 3 or 4 invoices ago. It just continues.
Yeah, we were done several months ago, but I wasn't really sure if we
Okay.
could try, if some of them were gonna go on to Red Rock, because.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just moved around.
So I have questions on the revenue for 25. For instance, general property taxes. 24 was only 40,000, yet we put 85,000 expected for next year.
So 10% of it goes to streets, so you're only looking at what's going in the general fund. And the majority of that comes in quarterly, so there's gonna be another big chunk coming in at the end of the year. So yeah, that's our levy taxes, it's about 83, 85, something like that. And we have a public hearing on that next meeting too.
Oh, for the ad
It
valorem.
keeps messing me up too, because it's not the whole year yet.
Yeah, we're still.
Yeah, well, it's like now, it's half. When you pulled it, it's only half.
But it was almost 70 last year, end of year, so we're expecting.
Does that have anything to do with the application?
No, we're gonna get it, and again, 10% of that is in streets too, so it's coming in quarterly, we'll get the rest of it.
Okay.
Cause they even sent us after, the projected amount of property taxes, it looks like we have another $500 coming back to us, and we have to fill this form out and send it back if we want it. Or we just wanna throw it on next year. Remember the ad valorem?
The ad valorem.
It's like $128 last year. This year it's like, I don't know, like $600.
Okay, so building permit fees up to 20,000, are we anticipating that much?
Yeah, because we've got Kurt coming in, and we've got,
Red Rock doing.
yeah, we've
some
got
stuff.
Red Rock coming in, we've got Frank's subdividing over here. So we've got, a property, that's subdividing currently, and they're gonna be building a home. I would say that's probably an
We'll
underestimate.
blow that
but-
away. Yeah. If just Kurt shells all his.
Mhm.
So you're anticipating they're gonna build next year?
Red Rock,
Yeah.
yeah, they're pretty much done. They had a couple more questions with their,
Ours.
yeah, and they're with their park stuff, and they didn't have to do anything, so we meet with Max next week. I see them starting to pull permits next year easily. And Kurt actually should possibly be pulling permits this year, I believe he'll be in.
Do we know how the permitting is going to work with when they go tearing into the road to put the sewer in? Down what is now our
For Kurt,
Toledo Vader No,
For
for Red Rock.
I think that was all in there the day that I was here before I was elected, when we had the discussion about like the sidewalks and stuff. I know that they had said that they were ripping the road up and then they were repaving it all, so,
Or the chunk that they rip up,
yeah. But I know that we also talked about when we went to the annexation part and you said, yes, we'll take possession of that road. It was, hey, we know that, you know, we've got X amount of years before we're really doing some serious maintenance on that, so we need to be mindful to start setting money aside for that.
Okay.
Have we talked to the county to see if they would be willing to chip seal just that little bit of road as a backup plan?
I have not spoken with them yet, no.
Couldn't hurt to ask.
Yeah.
I mean, they're already doing clear, 3/4 of the road. It couldn't hurt to ask.
Exactly.
Okay. I can't tell what starts where and what ends where, so bottom line is. Did we, come out in the black this year?
With revenue, yeah, we are way over in revenue. What that balance is gonna look like, we've got to do a budget amendment and then we'll have final numbers. But we definitely overestimated our revenue. I know we've underestimated some expenses as well, but.
When we put the spreadsheets in there for these, the revenue and the expenses, can we put them as separate items? Kind of what you were getting at is it's really hard. It becomes like a 40 some page PDF.
Yeah, cause.
Were
You're talking about that last page?
Cause you got like PDF separate.
Yeah, that would be great. That way we can know if we're going in to look at revenue or into expenses, because you can just go to the bottom of
Oh, on the
there, so
scrolling.
that,
Yeah.
yeah, the
Yeah, because as far as I can tell, the revenue doesn't have a grand total.
page 21.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both page 20, well, expenses.
Well, page 21 of
23.
the revenue portion.
Just a little, you have the commentary, it's actually.
I
Would have revenue and expenses on two separate
And he said.
tabs, because your formula is a lot more complex.
This is how our
Not as true.
software works. Yeah, we can make one that merges them together, but our software just, we can do a revenue report and then we can do an expense report. Eric's got a nifty one, he just hasn't finished it yet.
Were you written somewhere with that, or you had a question? Okay.
No,
Okay.
I just wanted to know if we were in the.
Yes.
Well, let's see, I see a 1.2 actual on a 1.16 for revenue, so we did exceed revenue and then. Jeez.
Yeah, 1202 to 1201. We're winning.
We're winning. Did you have another, or?
No, I'm good,
So I was looking at the wages helper. And noticed these raise number percentages are not what we discussed in the workshops.
Yeah, so Sherry had me adjust Cravens in mine, and that's the two that were changed. And I did adjust the bars number too. I don't know, Sherry, you had a discussion with John about his,
Yeah,
Future.
he does want, after discussing with him for probably a good hour and a half, he does want to move up into the superintendent role.
He about got himself fired last time. He did not look at his. We're gonna quickly need to go into an executive
yeah,
session.
we
You
can,
need to spend some time in his folio. Yeah, before you decide to bring that to council. Because
and these changes are. Council purview.
yeah, you guys approve them and then it gives you Sherry a range to actually give us a raise. She can either do it, bits and pieces. I know she's got a contract set up with Jay. Or she needs to get a contract set up with Jay. So his is gonna be done like it has been done in the past where with each certificate, he'll get, his annual raise, and then with each certificate, he'll get another increment up to the amount shown on there. And so we had discussed the 6%, and that's what I had originally budgeted for at our last workshop. And then I met with Sherry and she wanted to make the other two adjustments.
That's 100% up to you guys. I can ask you guys and say yes or no. And we will do what Eric recommended.
You guys have any more questions on revenue or expenses? I'm gonna make, for the next 2 weeks, we gotta post that it's available to the public. And then the first week of December, we should get our first reading done. And then I need to start working on the budget amendment, so I'd like to be able to walk away from this, so I can start working on the budget amendment, but we need to get the first reading done first week of December, no later than
So we
that.
need to have a workshop on this on the mid-month. Rebecca, you said you're not here for the
I
mid-month.
won't be here for the mid-month.
So can you email us out expenditures?
This is them.
This is them separated.
Yeah, we can email them out separate. But yeah, the next workshop that we have really needs to be like the last one, because it's gotta be the two public notices that it's available, and then,
Yeah, so I mean, these wages percentages should have been brought up a couple.
right, they were, yeah, I thought we
2
had,
months ago, when we
I
first
get,
started.
I thought that we agreed with the 6%, but that then there was this room for discretionary raises.
well, the 6% would have maxed
Yeah,
it
but
out,
one of
because
those-
that's as
one
high
of
as
those-
we can go.
One of those numbers is darn near 3 times 6%, so.
Right.
And what is the redacted?
Those are all of our taxes, our health benefits, that's all confidential. Our, what we pay for Medicare, I can't speak today, it's Monday. Social Security, all of our benefits, that's all confidential.
I know it's a straight percentage, you could look it up, but
Anything else on the budget?
So when are we workshopping? Because I want to get this wrapped up.
do we need to pick a different day since, when do you leave?
The 13th. I'm gone on the 13th. So I'd have to be before the 13th. But I think I can do just about any time before that.
Can we do the 12th next Tuesday?
Sure.
We do 4 o'clock?
Sure.
Oh.
Okay,
At 6.
Yeah, so we can do 4 to 6.
We have a workshop at 5.
Can you guys do 3?
hold on, we gotta make sure, what days,
I cannot on Tuesday. I may be able to, but I'll have to check.
what about Monday?
Is a holiday.
Oh,
Let's do Wednesday then. The 13th.
I'm gone.
I'll get back to you. on
Well, we gotta book it now, so
Okay.
that's fine. How long are you gone for?
Through the 19th,
what about later this?
But I
Through
can
the
make the
19th?
12th work.
through the 19th.
I'll make the 12th work.
And that's, what time is the park board at 5?
Yes.
So can you guys do 3? So we've got 2 hours.
I can.
So the 12th at 3 p.m.
Shop. That wellness money in there, Jamie, that you'd be complaining about.
So Rachel, we could sign you guys up for Head Start. And then you've got a place that
But we're just moving our stuff.
solves the problem.
I think I might even
Harley's
order
down
cough
with that.
today.
Alright, so is there any public input tonight? Alright, executive session, so I never seen a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second that.
Happy, seconded by Aaron.
Thanks.
All those in favor?
Yeah.
All those opposed? Meeting adjourned.